We're going to make these Hershey S'mores premium cupcake mix. They have a cream center in the middle of them, so that makes them premium. They're 150 calories. For one cupcake is what it says, and it makes 12 cupcakes, so each one of them is, what did I say? Actually prepared is 240. Boy, that's misleading, isn't it? It says 150 calories here, and that's if you eat the raw ingredients in this box. But if you look at the prepared, it's 240 calories per cupcake. So definitely not a diet food. So anyway, what you need is your oven's on 350. You need your cupcake pan. And of course, for that, you need the cupcake trays and the little paper cups, and we've just got Christmas ones we're going to use. And you need, we got the frosting, the s'mores frosting to go along with it. And it's got a little crumble, like a graham cracker crumble on top. 2 tablespoons of butter, and I will be melting that. 2 eggs. You need oil, and we'll need some water too. And I'll tell you the amounts too, and it's on the back of the box as well. So I'm going to go melt my butter and get my water. One thing I wanted to mention, and I melted my butter and stuff, but one thing I wanted to mention is when you're putting these cupcake, the papers in there, something my mom never did, but who was it that came out? Ashley? Was Ashley the one that said you should do it?
Yeah.
Some of her friends, or she just thought of it, I don't know, watched it on YouTube or something. But once you get your papers in there, if you take some cooking spray, just it could be regular cooking spray or butter spray or whatever, spray the insides of the papers. Just spray them really quick on the insides, and your cupcake won't stick to your paper. I know we used to fight to pull the paper off, and half the cupcake would come off and stuff like that. If you spray them before you put the batter in there, they don't stick. So it's a really good idea, a really good quick tip. And so I'm going to go spray my papers, and then I'm going to get ready to put the bottom in the cups. The first thing we're going to do is make the graham cracker crust. So I've got my 2 tablespoons of butter, and I've got a bowl and a fork. And inside the cake mix, you've got a couple packets. You've got your marshmallow filling. I'm going to put that to the side. And you have your graham cracker crust mix. It says crust mix right there. That's what I'm going to use right now. And then you have, of course, your cake mix. So I'm going to use the crust mix first. You can have s'mores with that graham crackers. Now I pour my butter in here, and what you're going to do is just take, and it's going to be a lot of stirring around. Doesn't look like much butter at all, and we're just going to get it moist to where we can press it into the bottom of these cupcake things. Okay, I've got it pretty much mixed up. There's not really any dry spots left, and it's never going to be super moist. I mean, it's not going to be goopy. And it shouldn't be. Okay. And the directions say about a tablespoon each for each cup. So what I'm going to do is I've got a tablespoon, and it says approximately about 1 tablespoon. So I'm thinking if I get most of a tablespoon in there and just drop it in the pan. Get it where you can see it. Drop it in the bottom. And if I go around and do that to all of them, then I'll press them into the bottom. So alright, so I've got them divvied up, and now you're just going to take your fingers and just kind of press them in the bottom. It doesn't have to be fancy or anything, just as long as they're kind of filled in the bottom. And you kind of press them to get it, the graham cracker stuck together. The butter and the graham crackers kind of bond together and make a somewhat firm crust, although I'm assuming baking will probably tie them together a little bit better. All these pressed in, and you can kind of see what they look like. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect, it's just covering the bottom. So I'm going to set these aside. And the next thing I do is get my mixing bowl. And I'm going to add the actual cake mix, the cupcake mix. And it says on the side, cupcake mix right there. It's upside down, but you can see it. It says cupcake mix. So you know which one's which. So we need that. We need 3/4 cup of water, which I've got right here. And we need 1/3 of a cup of oil. And then 2 eggs. Okay, now I'm going to mix this. I'm going to mix it for 30 seconds on low, and then I'm going to turn to medium for 2 minutes. So I'm going to take it over to my mixer. My mixer ready, and I'm going to lock it down, and I'm going to put it on low for 30 seconds. And the reason you do that, I don't know why, honestly, but my thinking is it's to mix the powder up a little bit so it doesn't go poof all over the place. When you turn on high, if you turn on medium right out of the bat, it's going to fly stuff everywhere. And I will have to scrape this down a few times as it's mixing, so I'm going to go ahead and turn on medium. Okay, it's mixed up, and I'm going to push my mixer over to the side a little bit. Now I've got this mixed up. I've got my cupcake papers here. You want a rounded tablespoon of batter, and you're going to put those into each one. And you're basically just covering up the graham cracker part. And you're not going to use all of it. So I'm going to fill all these up like this, and then I'll show you what you do next. Okay, first thing for the marshmallow filling, what you're going to do is you're going to squeeze it, kind of warm it up a little bit. It says 20 times, but just sit here and squeeze it a few times. It's fine. Okay, so take the corner, and what I usually do is just take my fingers and kind of push it away from the corner so I won't squirt it everywhere. And don't cut a huge piece of the corner off. Just you can see where the package is right there. So just cut off enough of it to where some of it will come out, and drop it on the floor. And you can see now my cups are all filled up, and this is going to go in the center of each one. The hard part, it says do not let it touch the sides. So that's going to be the fun part. I'm going to go with about that much right at the beginning. And we're going to use the whole pouch, so I may have to go back and do a few of them. I'm going to finish doing this, and then I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. They are all filled up with the marshmallow. I had to go back and hit a few of them that didn't get filled up. So now I'm going to take, the directions say to do 3 tablespoons each. I'm not going to do 3 tablespoons. I'm going to try it out with, actually just going to do 1 each, and we'll see how far it goes, and then I'll go back and refill back in. But just make sure you cover up the marshmallow in each one of them. These are ready, and you can see what they look like when they're all covered up, and they're pretty even. I probably ended up doing 1.5, like 1 heaping in each one of them, and maybe another 1/3 to 1/2 into each one of them, just to kind of level them off, to make them all even. It's fine. So again, this is going into a 350-degree oven, and they're going to bake for 24 to 29 minutes, or whenever the top is dry is what it says. Yeah, when the surface appears dry. So about 24 minutes, we'll check them, and then maybe add a couple minutes after that for each if it's not ready yet, and we'll see what they look like. Okay, it's been 24, 25 minutes, and the cupcakes, they look dry on top. I mean, that's the best I can just, that's what they said they should look like. That's what they look like. They look dry on top. I'm going to take those out. Turn my oven off, and then I'm going to let those cool, and then we'll frost them. These sit for just a minute, and now I'm going to take them out and put them on this cooling rack just so they won't stay hotter and keep getting hotter and hotter. So no big deal. It's probably not desperate that you do this, but I like to, it's kind of hard to do this with one hand. I like to take them out and let them cool on a cooling rack, and then we'll just let them sit there, and then once they cool off completely, then they'll be ready to frost completely. The cooled off cupcakes, they're ready to frost. Again, we're going to use this Hershey's. This is the s'more premium frosting for the s'mores, and it has this crumble on it. And I mentioned these were, what, 310 calories prepared. 310, 340, whatever it was. That was without the frosting. The frosting itself, 2 tablespoons is 140 calories. So, and I probably use more than 2 tablespoons. There is 13 servings in this container. And then you get this little crumbles there too to put on top. So anyway, I'm going to stir up my frosting to get it, because you don't want that thick frosting on there. If you stir it up, it's a trick I learned a long time ago. It's a lot easier to spread if you stir it. It sounds gross, but it works a lot better. And I'm not going for fancy piped frosting on these. I'm just going to literally just take my knife and take a cupcake and just put some frosting on it. And that's pretty much how I'm going to leave them. I mean, I'm really not going to do much more than that. I'm just going to frost them. So I'm going to frost the rest of these and I'll show you what the topping's going to look like. Okay, I've got them all frosted, and I was trying to figure out how you open this. I guess you just poke a hole in it and pull it out. I could have put a little tab on it to where you could grab it. That's kind of a pain in the butt. Okay. And I'm literally just going to take a little bit of this, and I just got one over here just so you can kind of see. Okay, it doesn't really sprinkle on. I'm just going to have to take them and tap them in place.
That makes a mess, though.
Yeah, make sure you put a plate underneath of it, because it really does not stick. It's really more of it rolls right off. So, okay. Anyway, can give you an idea of what it looks like, and then let me pull the paper off. And that's what they look like in the middle. I really can't get both of them. There we go. So I'm going to let Ashley try a bite. Here, you'll have to lean over.
Do you want to be on camera?
Yeah, I don't care.
Did you get some in the middle?
Mm-hmm. This is an odd texture with cupcake.
The middle part? The marshmallow
No,
part?
the crust.
Oh, the crust at the bottom.
Yeah, it's odd.
I don't even know if I got a good visual of the crust on the bottom. Oh, okay, I see it now.
It's really good, actually.
I don't know if I showed it before. You like it?
It's really good. It's got a really good flavor to it. It's not a really strong graham cracker flavor, though, normally like a s'more is. It's good, though. I don't know that they're worth going to all the trouble of making them, because they're a lot of trouble, but they do taste really good. So if you buy them, you won't be unhappy.
Ashley, what do you think? You're going to eat another bite, so you must like it.
They're good. I like them a lot. I think I'd like them better without the crust. I don't like that crunchiness. When I eat a cupcake, I like squishy cake.
Okay, this is my method. Instead of trying to sprinkle it on, I like to just dip them like this and kind of just barely, I don't squash it in the lid, but just barely put it on there, because you're not, the point isn't to cover the whole top with the graham cracker. It's just to get a little of the crunchy and a little bit of that flavor, and just to add another level of prettiness to it. So this is what they'll end up looking like, and because you can see they don't give you enough of this crust to cover all of it anyway, but it does look really pretty.
And that method works better for this, because you really had to shove those in there. So.
Yeah, and they make at Easter time, they make the cake, the frosting with the little Easter sprinkles on top, and I do the same thing with like those kind of mixes, those frosting mixes, and just tap it.
All right, these are the cupcakes once they've been dipped in the graham cracker things. Really, this s'mores frosting is really, it just tastes like chocolate frosting, and I guess the s'mores is the graham crackers that you put on top. But this was all of the graham cracker crumble added to the top of these, and they are ready to serve.